Welcome to Fireside Chat. My name is Sai. The government doesn't want you to retire early, and let me break down why. When I talk about the normal retirement age, that is age 62 because that's when we're eligible to collect our Social Security retirement benefits. Now, most people decide to retire due to their declining health. When I'm 62, I won't be physically or mentally able to work like I am now in my mid-30s. The youngest baby boomers are currently 58 years old. There are about 76 million people born between 1946 and 1964 who are looking to retire in the next 5 to 10 years. That's 23% of the US population looking to retire in the next 5 to 10 years. And according to CNBC, less than 1 out of 3 baby boomers have a pension other than Social Security. And 94% of retirees take Social Security retirement benefits before its peak at age 70. That's when you get the maximum benefits. So who is funding the Social Security benefits? It's the workers. I did a full video on this and I will link that video in the description below. If I retire early today at age 35, I would stop contributing 6.2% of my earnings into Social Security and 1.45% for Medicare. If I'm self-employed, then that's 15.3%. I would stop contributing to the government. Assuming I make $200,000 a year, that's $2,900 a year into Medicare and $9,114 into Social Security. Multiply those by 30 years until I'm 65 at my normal retirement age. That's roughly $360,000. That's $360,000 per person government will lose in revenue to fund Social Security and Medicare. Imagine if 1 million people decided to retire early at age 35. That's $360 billion in revenue losses just for the federal government, and I'm not even counting the revenue losses for state and local governments. Also, with 1 million people retiring early, they would stop paying income taxes, maybe partially, and instead paying more on capital gains taxes from their investment, which is significantly less than the income tax brackets. That could be trillions of dollars in losses for the state and federal governments. So if I pay $30,000 a year in taxes, in 30 years, that's $900,000. I would no longer contribute to the federal income tax. If 1 million people retired at 35, that's almost $1 trillion in losses for the government. You see why that could create a problem for them, right? By the way, if you need help with your personal finances, you can schedule a free one-on-one 20-minute financial coaching session by visiting firesidechat.com/coaching. You can also get free financial products from firesidechat.com/contact. In 2021, and this is according to the Social Security Administration, 65 million Americans received Social Security benefits totaling over $1 trillion in that 1 year. And over half of those retirees will live past age 80. The most ideal way to keep the government funded is for us to work until we hit the normal retirement age. However, we're going to have a hard time funding the retirees because they're living a lot longer than they used to, and most of them are taking the early Social Security retirement benefits. The solution to that is to raise taxes. After the Great Resignation in 2021, the government will most likely raise higher tax rates to keep those programs funded. You might hear something like, taxing the rich would keep those programs alive. In the end, we would all end up getting the higher tax rates without even realizing it. Raising taxes would be highly likely because our population is aging and birth rate is still declining. There would be a smaller percentage of the population in the workforce over the coming decades. Raising taxes in general is not a popular idea in this country, so the government usually finds other ways to raise taxes. I'm sure you remember reading about how Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, has over $5 billion in his Roth IRA. That made people mad, right? So because now there's that one billionaire who has a tax-free Roth IRA worth over $5 billion. So Congress proposed a bill called Build Back Better Act to end backdoor and mega backdoor Roth strategies and put a cap on the Roth IRA to $20 million. If Build Back Better Act got passed in 2021, people making over $140,000 a year would have lost the ability to convert their contributions to traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. This wasn't just about taxing the ultra wealthy making over $400,000 a year, because I can tell you that making $140,000 a year living in California and New York is simply not enough due to the high cost of living. The inflation alone this year is 7.5% year over year, and you still have to pay income taxes in those states. Making $140,000 a year would be nice, but there are a lot of 20 and 30-year-olds still paying back tens of thousands of dollars in student loans. So bottom line, yes, Congress can pass a legislation to mess up our Roth retirement accounts. They tried that in 2021, and we could see it happen again in the future. This is why on my FIRE checklist, investing into Roth is on the top of the checklist. Since I joined the financial independence community, I often hear outsiders saying how I'm not going to be happy if I retire early and I will get too bored. But when I ask them if they're happy with their jobs, most people would say no and they would rather do something else. Having a job is means for survival, like paying your mortgage and paying your bills so you don't become homeless or hungry. We're so used to going to work, paying taxes, and paying our debt until we hit the normal retirement age. Don't get me wrong, I really like my job and I want to keep doing it for a while. My point is, I don't want to keep working until I'm 65 and rely on the government pension like Social Security. I want to truly enjoy my life without worrying about losing my 9-to-5 job, and I believe I can do that with my FIRE checklist. I'm not too worried about the retire early part of the FIRE movement because once I reach FI of the FIRE movement, more doors will open up for me and my family. I'm not necessarily going to quit my 9-to-5 job, but I would definitely take more time off to do something that I enjoy doing. My long-term goal is to grow my financial coaching business so I can help people achieve financial independence. I want to make more YouTube videos to help you guys save and invest money for your future. We have a motto in Fireside Chat, and that is to take control of your future. Now, I never say have the government figure out your future, right? I want to believe the government is efficient with our money, but they're really not. If you look at their huge budget deficit over the last 20 or 30 years, they have been spending more money than they make. And I think someone once said, if the government was a person or a private company, they would be bankrupt by now. I strongly encourage you to invest in financial education and stop saving like you're going to work until you're 65 years old. You will be surprised how quickly your net worth grows when you start maximizing your contributions to your retirement and savings accounts. So with that said, I appreciate you watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one.